doing here? Ah, you're here for the caravan video. Mate, why didn't you say so? Come on. Show you around. Okay, now that's out of the way. Sorry about that. I wanted to do this video today to show people who might be looking at this sort of particular caravan around inside and out, and also for those who mightn't even really quite know what they are looking for as yet, like we didn't just 1 year ago with our first van. This is our second van now. I think the only way for us was just to get a foot in the door there and yeah, jump right in head first. So definitely taught us what we do and don't want, and I think we've done a pretty good job this time, so let's go. What are you doing there? We got the neighbour's dog here today. He's come over for a little visit from over there. We love him. He's good. He comes over every now and then. So anyhow, let's start from the start here. Firstly, we have a DO35 hitch. These are rated to 3.5 tonne, pretty standard. It's an aftermarket option for your ball hitch that you mainly see around. Difference being basically it swivels both ways. So worst case, if you were involved in an accident on the road and your car flips over or your van flips over, they're not going to take each other with them. So if your van, if something does happen there, hopefully you'll be on all four wheels still with your car. And the ride has been really nice. It's just a lot smoother, so you don't get any of that shaking when it hits the side of the ball, I find. Fantastic option. Here, pretty standard in vans over a certain weight is your breakaway. So some people may know what these are and some won't, of course. So pin pulls out in the event of an accident, and that will basically slam your caravan brakes on, so you're not going to kill people on the road coming the other way. Boss jockey, I was going to say wheel, but it's not really a wheel, it's more a stand, I guess. Yeah, Justine really liked this. I was pretty okay with the wheel, but now that we have it, I think it's a good option. It's nice and easy to wind up and down with the drill. And it goes a lot higher. It comes way up here, so yeah, pretty cool. Actually goes a lot lower as well. We did find we're having a bit of trouble in the sand with the little wheel sink. So yeah, see how it goes. Haven't really had much chance to give it a shot. We have our electric unit, different kinds of those, but yeah, that's what we've gone with here. It's really good. No problems with it whatsoever. Fully adjustable like in-vehicle brake controller. Electronics to control into the van. So if you got any sway, that came as standard, mind you, by the way. So did this. The hitch did not. Neither did this. Yeah, it will basically apply braking pressure to slow you down and stop the sway in the event that you know, have to make an emergency sort of a maneuver or something like that. We have right here, came with the Sphere reversing camera. You can wire that in however you like, so we wired it not only as a reversing camera but also a rear view camera as you're driving along, so you can actually see what's happening behind you there, because otherwise you got no real idea. If you want to pull over on the side of the road at 100 k's an hour, without it, you just got to hope that there's no one there. So it's great to have for that. I don't find it very useful for reversing at all. But hey, everybody's different. Stone guard, we bought that second hand and just ourselves. Rubbers were buggered, so I just went down to rubber and bought a couple of new ones, bolted them on. Jerry can holders, they're not standard. We pop those in. Gas, this is standard. Let me just try and open this up here. So just a cover and two roughly 8.5 kilo bottles. I have heard that these bottles aren't swap and go friendly because they're a little bit smaller than the standard ones you'll pick up at the shop. So just a quick word of warning, if you are going to run them dry and you want them to fit back in the holders, you're going to have to get them refilled somewhere, which isn't exactly ideal, I don't think, but that's what they've done. Not sure why. All right. A tap here used to be around the other side, but we found it a bit annoying because you'd have to go into someone else's camp essentially. It's, you know, their awning's out this side usually. So I just felt like, you know, you're kind of annoying them and going into their space. So we've just basically popped it around here on the rail. Upstairs, I can't quite be bothered getting up there, but we had one panel as standard. It was an optional extra. I don't think they really come with any. You can choose however many you like. We had an extra 2 of those 200 watt panels installed. They were about $500 each installed. So we have a total of 600 watts up the top there now. Tunnel boots. This boot goes right through to the other side. It looks a little dark in there at the moment, but we'll open that up in the other end. They usually come standard with a little light, which is handy at night. You got your jack in there, and also your tool for putting up the stabilizer legs. What's called J-track suspension. It's basically sort of a similar design to what you'd have in your normal vehicle with your coils and your shockies as well. Geez, it rides really smooth. I know there are apparently better options with the Cruise Master, I think, stuff, but they're a lot more expensive as well, and I really don't know if they'd be all that much better. So very happy with these. You can see the water tanks here. We've got 1, 2 water tanks, which I think they're 95 litres each, and up the end what looks to be another one is actually a grey water tank. So when you have the assembly closed off, it'll just collect in there. Anything that you're pouring down the drains and sinks will go in there, so you're basically essentially self-contained. Over here you'll see the sway control, bit of plumbing here, gas and water. Okay, let's move around. Electric awning, I might pop that out later. Geez, I love that. The press of a button, out it comes. So if you're on the side of the road or something and you need a bit of shade midday, it's just so easy. I think you have to be unhitched from the car as a safety feature for it to operate. So just know that if it's not working for you and you're hitched up. This is that bar that we were talking about on last episode. So this is a new one we had made up of 3mm steel with the gussets, because people had trouble with theirs tearing off here with any load on the back. So we have a couple of jerry cans here, mainly to save some money by, it just gets so expensive when you're out in the middle of nowhere. So I just want to be able to fill these up and just take them with us. At the same time, we've already been stuck down in, I think, Lake Argyle, where they said there was fuel, but there wasn't any fuel. They'd closed up. And we also want to do some exploring around, and we couldn't. We had to stay put because we weren't sure if we were actually going to make it back with the fuel we had. So already these would have come in handy. Reversing cameras up the top here. Really like that. It's awesome. Okay. This is our, what looks like a tunnel boot, but it's our shit canister. So that just pops out. Once it's full, it has a little light, which we'll go into a little bit later on. Antenna, fridge vent, antenna up the top, 240 in, which is 15 amp of course, and a breaker switch under here. Solar input, we have another couple of 200 watt panels. They're not really 200 because they're cheap from Temu or eBay, but we get 8 amps each out of them, so that goes directly to our BMS in the event where we're under trees, we're not getting anything, and we need to, you know, pull the solar out into the sun. And also on very cloudy days, we have those extra 2 panels just to get whatever we can into the Caravan. A couple of batteries here. We have a couple of a couple of 100 amp hour lithium batteries. They're the Spheres. We've already had trouble with one of them. That was replaced under warranty. Yeah, and I probably wouldn't go any less than that. A lot of people are running 4 to 6 kind of these days, so they really don't have to worry about power whatsoever. We also have a 120, 130 amp hour power station we're carting with us. So that's kind of upped us to, you know, a bit over 300 amp hour, which I think will be fine. I really don't see it being too much of a problem. Aircon is the killer. Yeah, not many. You need a massive setup to be able to run an aircon for any decent length of time off grid. It's pretty hard to do. Love the big windows. They're so much better than the pop top. I think the pop tops only have small windows because the cupboards are above them, and then the pop top comes up, so it can feel a little cramped inside those. You feel like a really big person for the windows are too sort of low. Alright, we've got our hot water here. Pretty sort of standard for, I think, most Caravans. Alright, pressure relief valve. Yeah. There's an anode rod down there which needs to be replaced right here. It's basically a tool that saves your internals from rusting up. So it's a sacrifice, basically, a sacrificial rod. I'll leave that one for later. Tunnel boot. Oh, look, a spare canister. So we're cutting 2 of these because you know, we don't want to have to run to town all the time after a few days off the grid. We can just swap this over and essentially have twice as long. Hello, dog. What are you doing, Jack? Right, so I think that's about it for the internals, or the external, sorry. So let's have a quick break and we'll head inside in a minute. I've got to put that bloody aircon on. It's stifling out here today. Sorry guys, a couple of things I might have missed earlier. In the exterior we also have 12 volt outlet here, 240 aerial out, couple of outdoor speakers for you party animals, lights, another night light here, and around the other side is our water inlets. Here they are. We've got the mains, tank 1 and tank 2. Geez, these are a pain in the ass because the earlier Caravans, Arrow 1 included, had just a couple of little inlets on the side here. You just put a hose in them and the water goes in, but these are pressure required, so if you've got some water in the middle of nowhere you want to pump into them, you need an external pump. So painful. Don't know why they've done it, but they have. There's a one-way valve so the water can't seep back out on each of those. Here is the grey water tank, spare tyre here too, sorry. Grey water tank outlet, pull the cap off, and there's your ball valve just to let it all out. And this is your washing machine outlet here. It's separate. I think they've done that because you know, they don't want it filling up your tanks. And we've just had to make a manifold that goes between the two, links together and goes to our grey water hose. Alright, I think that is about it. And of course, the internals. Here we are. You can hear that aircon humming away. Speaking of which, I might start there. We used to have a Truma non-inverter type, which we never really found any troubles with, apart from it was set at 1 speed, so it would always be on 1 speed, and then whatever fan speed you'd have it on. The thump, so whenever the compressor would thump in or thump out, would kinda be a bit annoying. With this one, the only annoying thing is the compressor being an inverter running up and down, so just as it gets really quiet you'll hear it ramp up, which kind of draws your attention to it. Can be a bit annoying. First world problem? Hey, probably. Okay. Sorry it doesn't look so great at the moment, but I've been using this as a work office, so yeah, anyhow, you get the general idea. Skylight up the top. We've got just a little bug thing, you know. This also opens right up to let some air in, and you can close it off when you go to sleep. Smoke alarm. Cupboards, lots of cupboards, too many cupboards, which is a good problem to have. We don't nearly use them all. Okay, bit of storage here. We've even got some 12-volt outlets and things underneath here. Charge your phone and get some power. Same on the other side. Now, Sirocco fans, people talk pretty highly about these. They're nice and quiet. Got a timer on them. They can adjust to any angle you could imagine. They're good. Also some night lights here. Try to, there we go. Blue for just, I don't know, it could be for, I guess, kids at night, just to have a tiny little bit of light. Hold the button in and you've got a nice reading light. I haven't got this open, but it's really nice to have this one open, actually, to get the breeze through, and just for extra viewing, really. Lights. So with these vans here, this is a queen mattress. They have a bolster up the top here, just to save some space, you know. So you've got this little extra space here, but when you do go to sleep, you'll see there is a couple of little slides here. It just slides out. You pull it forward. The bolster goes down just to increase the length of your bed. All right, underneath the bed. There's our solar panels I talked about earlier. Couple of speakers. Great storage there. Hot water is a little bit annoying in this particular van, I think. It's underneath here because this switch to turn on is basically inside here. So if you do want to turn it on and off, it's a little bit of extra work. Whereas before in the older van, we just had a switch next to the BMS. Inverter. This is not standard. This is something that we have put in aftermarket. We purchased this one, and yeah, had it installed actually the second time around, because the first time I did it in the old van myself, I didn't realize that we needed one of these. So the inverter is 240 volt. Basically will change 12 volt battery to 240 volt power, so you can run your standard household appliances. 3000 watt is plenty. It's more than our actual batteries will provide. I think our batteries will give us 2400 watts. The problem we had earlier was when you do take any power from the batteries themselves, it needs to be run through the BMS, which is the battery management system on board. Otherwise, your battery management system will be completely incorrect, and it'll say you have a lot more power left than you actually do. That's where this little bad boy comes in. It's called a shunt. It's a smarter shunt than many. All the power goes through that shunt, and it's hooked and wired directly to the battery management system. So whenever you're using anything from here, it's being calculated, so your percentage and state of charge is correct. Got an on and off for that here. It does draw a little bit of power. I can't remember, it's half an amp or something per hour just being on, so yeah, good to be able to turn it off. Okay, we got some cupboards here. Here is our solar charger and brain. Everything runs through here basically. Up here is what's called, actually I don't even know, they call it a tow secure. What it is like a black box in a plane. So when, in the event of an accident, the insurance companies can actually go back and see how fast you're traveling, if you're swerving, all that sort of thing, which is pretty crazy. And the other application is your brake controller as well. Sorry, your breakaway controller. So I didn't quite explain that too well before when we were talking about that at the drawbar. The breakaway actually is for when your Caravan, in the event the Caravan comes off the car, that's when the breakaway is activated. Okay, so this isn't standard. We actually put this up ourselves just to sort of make a bit more room here, and I know Justine loves a good sleep in. So it's good to keep her in the dark when I'm out there having a coffee in the morning. Pretty simple design, but funny enough, it took forever to actually, I think it took 3 or 4 trips to actually get this happening for whatever reason. These are all standard. We've got a fly wire mesh to keep the bugs out, and also these blinds as well, which are a blackout. Powered TV outlet, TV bracket, we slip it on there, and it's fully adjustable, telescopic, comes all the way out to here. You can watch it anywhere really. With a smart TV, runs on 12 volt, you don't need 240 for this. Alright, microwave. Oh, coffee machine, you've got to have that. Inverter, this isn't standard, that's wired to our inverter under the bed. We just plug 240 appliances into here when there's no 240 volt available. There's a standard outlet here. We popped these on ourselves. This one as well. Yeah, a lot of people don't know this is not only a chopping board, but it's a chop and serve. Here you go, you pop all your stuff in on the other side there. Saves a bit of space. Filtered water here, I keep even forgetting we've had that. I have never even drank out of it, to tell you the truth. I've got a little bin under there, bit of plumbing. Gas, cooktop and oven. Haven't even used these at all. We've been happy with the air fryer. I love that thing. Okay, got another skylight here. Hello little dog. What are you doing, Jack? Very good boy, aren't you? Okay, BMS time. Here's our screen. We also of course have the radio here. You can have your speakers inside and outside at the same time, or one of the two. So basically here we can turn our power off, got a night mode, hot water service on or off, your water pump on or off, which I failed to mention actually, that's also under here, under the bed head, which is a bit annoying because, you know, if you go to the toilet at night and someone's asleep, it's not silent, and right under your head's probably not the best space for it. But it is where it is, for whatever reason. State of charge, we're plugged into 240 right now, is 100% on our 200 amp hour lithium. There's our waste tanks here. We got tank 1 and tank 2. with the percentage. Oh, sorry, now waste tank here with nothing in it. I think there's a fair bit more to this, but there we go. There's some leveling. You need to buy the actual level separate. Lots of little things. Fantastic fridge and freezer. This is a compressor fridge. Very quick cooling. Downside to it is it draws between about 3 and 8 amps per hour, whereas the older 3-way fridge by Thetford we used to have in the other Caravan, it took a good day to actually cool down, but it ran on gas, 240 and I think 12 volts. So yeah, you had a lot more options with it. So you want to make sure you've got some decent solar and battery power if you're going to have one of these fridges, but they work as good as your house fridge and freezer. They really are quite good. Okay, toilet. There's a little light on here. There's your little flush. Right here, this red one will light up once it's full with the sensor to tell you to empty it, or shit will start going everywhere. These little aquachems, they smell beautiful for your toilet, so you can't even smell it. So a good running Caravan toilet, you should be able to walk in and not smell any shit, basically. If it's smelling, you're not putting enough chemicals. It actually smells quite good, I find. Yeah, there's a little flap to open the toilet and close it off. Okay. Underneath here we have a washing machine, which is awesome. On the first models of this Caravan, you might notice that there's a wall here. Now, whenever you had a problem and needed to remove the washing machine, of course it was a nightmare, so they don't pop them there anymore. A lot easier to get in and out, and a bit more bench space on top here. More cupboards and things. Little tail rail, door. Okay, nice little shower, and an extra light up the top, and double action fan. You've got a fan that pushes down and one that pulls up. You can open up that hatch and let all the steam come out if you need to, if you're having a hot shower. We opted for the Owl Lounge. I think you can also get the sort of face-to-face one like you have on the old trains, but I found I just couldn't deal with it because it just took so much room from here, came all the way out. It just felt a little too cramped. So yeah, I couldn't deal with that. That's the reason we've gone for this one. This table is kind of cool. It's got a mechanism down here. You can put it all the way down to the bottom, create another bed if need be, and it also comes in and out. It goes everywhere. Slides in all the way over to here if you want an extra chopping board or whatever. So it's the other Caravan. It used to rock around something terrible, and I could never fix it. But this one's rock solid, so yeah, it's great. Yeah, that is our van in a nutshell. So hey, hope that helps. Any questions, let me know. I might be able to answer it. Cheers guys, see ya.